Hi there, I'm John from CNCKing.com, and today we'll take a look at paint-filled versus not paint-filled coasters. So just to skip to the point, here is not paint-filled obviously, and here is paint-filled. So paint-filled definitely produces a tremendous amount of contrast that you don't get with regular Corian. Now this is extra sort of detailed because the original spec for this project here was to CNC router out not just the outline or the profile, was also to CNC router out the details on the inside. And I told the customer, if I can't paint fill this, can you at least allow me to do the laser engraving? Now, laser engraving this, roughly a 1/16 deep, takes about 20 times longer than the router to do it. So I wasn't doing myself any favors here. But what I wanted to do for the customer is produce something where you still have a lot more contrast. And that's because, as you can see the lines here, that's what the laser does. It produces almost like a sandpaper-like texture. And for this application here, it wasn't absolutely necessary, but I wanted to have, hey, if I can't do this, can I at least do that sort of thing? So you can actually see it a lot clearer. Because otherwise, again, if I were to router this out, it would have been, you would know that there was some engraving there, but it wouldn't stand out very much. Just to give you an idea of the resolution I can get with the laser, here you go. So the advantage of a laser is, obviously you could tell this was designed to be routered. You have a 1/8 diameter bit doing all of this stuff here. But with a laser you don't have that limitations. With the laser you have basically infinite resolution. The dependency is really on the material more than the machine, and of course time. But in this case here, as you can see, everything's really nice and sharp if I get the focus working. So even the very, very small details come out nice and sharp. The other advantage to laser engraving, especially if you're doing paint filling on Corian, is that it produces a lot more surface area. So the paint adheres even better than just regular Corian. And just to give you an idea, you know, paint does come on other stuff. I didn't bother sanding this because it doesn't really matter. This is for in the shop use. But if it would have been in customer, I would have sanded that as well off for the paint filling. Because generally what happens is you don't flood paint it or flood fill it, but you have to add a lot of paint at different angles. So like this, like this, like this, like this, and then sometimes right on the top as well, to make sure you get everything. Because if you don't, you got to repaint everything all over again, because there's always some spots that will be missed. And as you can see with this one here, there's some very, very small details, but everything's nicely paint filled. So what are some advantages and disadvantages to Corian? The major advantage of Corian is whether it's indoors or out, it comes out really great and you have a ton of different colors with it. And the other advantage to that is when you do paint filling, you have almost an infinite number of paints that you can use for the contrast. So you have about 120 different Corians and paint, you know, millions of different kinds of paint. I actually had a customer that actually ordered custom paint, a special shade, and we ended up using that for paint filling, and it came out great. The disadvantage of Corian is if this falls on the concrete floor of the shop, it's going to shatter in a million pieces. It's almost like glass. And actually what it is compressed acrylic, and that's the disadvantage of it. So if you're going to hang this on a wall, let's say on a plaque or something like that, make sure it's on that wall really well. Otherwise, I don't mind the repeat business, but you know, you want to avoid smashing stuff. I got to be careful when I ship Corian as well, because if I just ship it in a box like this and put like this here and like here and ship it out, guarantee when it gets to the customer, it's all going to be shattered in a million pieces. So those are some of the advantages and disadvantages to it. So really nice resolutions, a very consistent material as well, especially for engraving and carving. We also do a lot of carving on Corian, and it comes out fantastic. So looking for custom projects, contact me at CNCKing.com. Corian or any other material, we'll make it for you and ship it right to your door.